it's Kyle here, and we're currently talking about podcasts here on Project Nerdy. So I thought the best thing to do would just be go through my podcast feed and kind of talk about some of my favorite nerdy podcasts that I listen to. So let me just bring that up here. Let's see. So the first one I will talk about is Go Bayside. Go Bayside is a podcast about Saved by the Bell. If you could have guessed by that name, if you're a fan of Saved by the Bell, you probably got the Go Bayside reference. But it's by a comedian, April Richardson, and basically she invites somebody over to her apartment. Sometimes it's a close friend of hers, sometimes it's somebody she doesn't really know, but they've been recommended to be on her show. And basically they watch an episode of Saved by the Bell, and then the podcast is them talking about the episode afterwards. It's almost like a DVD commentary top track. Sometimes the comedians, or guests, a lot of times they are comedians, were fans of the show, of Saved by the Bell. Other times somebody has never seen an episode, so it's interesting to see that contrast. I really enjoy this podcast. It's very funny, but also I grew up in the time period where people my age range are like right in the sweet spot for being fans of the Saved by the Bell. So this was the big show that was on when we were kind of in school and stuff. So really enjoyed this podcast. It's very, very awesome. Highly recommend it. If you like Saved by the Bell, check this podcast out. Probably the other biggest nerdy podcast I listen to is Cloverfields. It is by Steve Zaragoza and Mike Falzon, probably best known from SourceFed, and it's about the world of Cloverfield. The podcast started when 10 Cloverfield Lane was getting ready to come out, and it kind of talks about the interactive game that went around that the studios did, where they put out clues about the characters and people had to try to solve the clues to kind of decipher more facts about the movie and the universe it's set in. Delves into a lot of the stuff the movie that's very nerdy, but it's also very funny at the same time. It's currently on hiatus because they really only do the podcast when there's news about Cloverfield. So until a new Cloverfield movie comes out, it'll probably be on hiatus for a while, but it's very funny. If you like Cloverfield, I'd strongly encourage you to check it out. Probably the other big nerdy podcast I listen to is probably maybe the most famous nerdy podcast, and that's The Nerdist with Chris Hardwick. I think everybody knows about that, so I don't need to do too much details about that. I also listen to Still Untitled, which is the Adam Savage project, which is Adam Savage is from Mythbusters, so it's his podcast. I'll listen to that one depending on what the topic is. I don't necessarily listen to it all the time. Same way as The Nerdist. And I would strongly encourage you to check out Holly's new podcast, which she mentioned in her video last week. It is awesome. I really enjoy it. My question to the viewers is, what was the last podcast that you listened to? Just let me know in the comment section below. And my nerdy pleasure was seeing a first edition copy of To Kill a Mockingbird. I recently went to Rome, Georgia, and as part of that I went into a used bookstore. And in a glass case where they kept some very expensive books, they had a first edition of To Kill a Mockingbird. Way out of my price range, but it's still neat to see that in person. So that was my nerdy pleasure. Hope you're enjoying our podcast week here on Project Nerdy. And Kat, I will see you on Thursday.